Hey there guys, this is me Malorian and this will be a War Machine battle report, and it's going to be one against my buddy John. Now John is going to my tournament Blood and Gears. He's going to be borrowing my Signar. It's going to be a 3-list Masters event, and so he needs to practice some of these lists, especially because he's a Crix convert. You know, kind of gave up on the Mark III Crix, wants to try out some Signar, and this is a list that I've actually designed for him, or kind of more with him, where this is really the idea that Haley3 can run a lot of jacks. She's running the 4 ironclads, and then Jake's is there with Old Rowdy as well, and all these guys are defense 14, except for when Sidekick is up on Old Rowdy, they'll be defense 16 jack. And I mean, they just are very, very efficient. Otherwise, you know, of course the Storm Lances are in there because the best unit Signar has, and it's going to be neat. To take this on, I'm deciding to run Gorten for the first time in Mark III. He's a guy I really enjoyed a lot in Mark II, but just haven't really played much so far. And the list I kind of tossed together here was kind of the scenario attrition list, so that the first push is going to be like the wave of the press gangers going in. I can always try and follow things up and defeat things away and go for scenario, but worst case scenario, I can switch gears and go to attrition with all these Forge Guards. So we'll see what happens. I mean, in general, I think I'm going to go for more my defensive zone and try and start scoring, but you know, what it might be a thing is I'm going to wait for him to come in, destroy a guy with my Earthbreaker, then push them away. I don't know. It'll kind of just depend on what John does. And I didn't mention, but he also won the role and wanted to go first. And so what he really does is, you know, the cloud wall guys go up, they have tactical supremacy, they make their clouds, they back away, and then of course all the jacks are getting up there. Sidekick is on Old Rowdy, so he's going to be a real pain to deal with. You know, the high defense, I do have one out, which is going to be, first of all, my feet. If I feed on things, they'll be -3 defense. That'll really help out those numbers. But also with the Earthbreaker, if I get the Quake knockdown, well, that will just get rid of all your defense. The problem is that I have to hit first, and you know, even for some of these guys are like the defense 14 jacks, I'm only at 5, so I need 9s to hit, and so I can boost that, but I can easily miss that too. So yeah, we'll have to kind of see what happens. Otherwise, those kind of Storm Lances are kind of rushing up on the right, and that's really it. So right now, it doesn't seem like he's really pushing towards a zone, which is kind of good because it means I'm not going to have to try and race to a scenario win. But what I'm going to do now is just going to run up there with the press gangers, get in his face, try and get these slow Forge Guard up there, and meanwhile the Eliminators are going to be waiting on the right, so that either if he comes in I can countercharge or run up and engage. So that's what I really do. My objective is the fuel cache, so I decide to go and pop a smoke there, just so in case he wants to try and make a charge, I'll block some line of sight. And yeah, press gangers running. I go up there with the big Earthbreaker, I put Strength of Granite onto it, so now it's P+S 25. It's a freaking monster. Otherwise, I put a wall up there as well, just to be a little bit more annoying. And yeah, you know, after I kind of placed things, I was starting to kind of realize there wasn't a really good spot for the Eliminators, and I had to be very careful too that they weren't going to be just Electroleaped. And I think the leftmost one, he is just going to shoot the one press ganger and then Electroleap onto her, so that's a little bit of poor planning on my part, but hey, at least 3 of them to survive. And otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to have to just try and fight all these press gangers in his face. I'm going to get up to go on feet, and I'm still feeling pretty good about this. His turn, though, he does a number to me. Now, I should mention that we're not playing with clock, and if we did, this might have been like a 30-minute turn, but he got a lot of work done. You know, the nice thing is when the trenchers charge in, they get to shoot. I might tough it, but then they just stab me anyway, so they're pretty efficient at killing a bunch of guys there. Otherwise, he did kill a couple of one of the jacks, but most of them stayed back. Of course, the Storm Lances on the right, they do a ton of work. They're charging in, and he actually connects with a hit on one of my Eliminators, and then Electroleaps over. So, as you can see on the right, I was decimated. I lost a whole unit of press gangers and 2 of my Eliminators. That's really, really not what I thought was going to happen. And that's because he's also getting a lot of work with some other models that a lot of people just don't bother making rolls for. You know, Jakes is taking a shot. He went in there with past Haley, and she went and did her little AoE magic. Future Haley's doing her little brain bolts and shooting things. So again, I mean, the clock probably would have been really against him at this point, but he certainly got a lot of work done against me. So at this point, I had to kind of go into the tank myself for a little bit just because I lost so much. Now, one choice I do have right now is I could go up and I could feat and I could push him away, but not a lot is kind of in my range yet, and I don't think it'd be that effective of a feat. So what I'm going to plan to do then is try and take down the blue ironclad with just shooting, then otherwise charge in to try and kill the guys in my way, the storm lances in my own zone. And if I can kill those guys off, I can still go in and dominate, start that up, try and tie the other things up. And he is going to come back and hit me hard, but then I'll have a really good feat and I can do awesome things. I might also get lucky too, and my press gangers might be able to charge in and destroy his objective. I don't know, it's this stockpile, so I'm not getting hurt anyway, but I might as well try, because if I try going up against any of the other things, he's just going to go and really countercharge in with old Rowdy anyway. So that's what I do. I upkeep the strength of granite, and then the Earthbreaker is going to go up there and really get some really good damage against him. Some of these things I'm shooting and they're dice off 5, and they're still getting, a good 6 damage. So I'm rolling really lucky for some damage rolls, really mess them up to the point that then it's very easy for me to charge in with the Forge Guard and finish them off. One of the things that was really annoying is I was hoping to get more work done on the other side, but when I charged in the 2 Eliminators, who are hopefully going to kill 2 of the Storm Lances, the one that was closest failed. And that meant that all the other Forge Guard who want to kind of run up and charge other targets, they were stuck. So luckily I was able to kill him and one other, so I killed 3 of them. Remember, you can't revive them, but I did clear out the zone. I did put up a wall, on the left side. I did lots of damage to the objective, really close, brought it down to just 2 boxes, so I'm really sure I can get that point later. One point, right now it's 1-0. I've taken down one of his jacks. I'm feeling okay, but at the same time, I'm feeling a little bit exposed with Gorten. I probably didn't need to put him that far up. I could have had him further back, but I tried going up and taking a double barrel shot at the one Stormlance that was off the hill, and that's where I had to go to if I want to be in range. But I missed, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And yeah, he brings down a lot of trouble onto me. At first, he is wondering about how to try and get into me, and again, this was probably a pretty long turn on his part. But yeah, he does a number to me. So pretty much this is going to be his feat turn. He's going to come down here with past Haley. She's going to be going to do her AoEs to me, get some of the damage started. The future Haley coming up, trying to take some shots. Prime Haley trying to take a hand cannon that's going to miss. And in the end, just really can't get the damage he needs. And worst of all is he kind of thought that after that was done, he was going to end things up with trying to charge in this 2 Storm Lances. But because they're large bases and the way that I'm situated, he just can't get both of them into me. So another one just kind of goes over, does some more damage on the right side. But yeah, I think Gorten was brought down to about 5 or 7 boxes. So, I mean, pretty damn hurt. And one of the things that we talked about after that he probably should have done is that when past Haley came up and did that one spell, she really should have been doing the Force Hammer instead, because if she would have got a Force Hammer, I'd be knocked down, and a lot of the other attacks that missed or that he had to boost to hit, he wouldn't have had to, and they would have hit anyway. And so I think he could have actually engineered this assassination, but luckily for me, he comes up short. Otherwise, on the left side, he really kind of cranks into me there. Not able to kill off the press gangers, but he at least kills off 3 of the 4 Forge Guard that were in the zone. But yeah, he does not score in there. I don't score on mine. And now I'm feeling great. I survived this assassination. I probably got way too chancy with this, but now I'm in a great spot where I can finish off the Storm Lances, make sure they're not going to be an issue. I'm going to feed away the majority of his army, which is all bulked together, and get into a very strong scenario situation. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upkeep the Strength of Granite again, because P plus S25 is awesome. And then what's going to happen is that I'm going to be going first with the Forge Guard. They're going to go in and do some charges, and they get some awesome damage. Actually, first the Eliminators go and clear off some of the Storm Lances that were around there, and then the Storm Guards can charge in. And most importantly, they take out the movement of one of those jacks there. So all of a sudden dropping its defense way down really helped, so that I was able to go in there with the bigger old Earthbreaker, charge in, take down the one with like one hit for what was left. I did like 21 damage in one punch. It was awesome. Then after that, I did miss an attack and then buy and connect and did some pretty good damage to one of his other ironclads. Then I'm going to be going with my Gorten. He's going to feet, push everything to the left. Now, I could have pushed things back, but the trees would have slowed things down, and I just want to get things away from me and have it so that the big old Earthbreaker's in the way. So otherwise, I then, after I do that, move away, make myself a wall. You know, I am hurt, but I'm so far away. All those models I'm really worried about are feeded on, so they're -3 speed, so I'm really not super worried. Otherwise, I go in there and I destroy the objective. So at this point, it's going to be 3-0. I get a lot of damage on some of the other stuff. Like I destroy the one injured ironclad. The Forge Guard on the left charge in and kill that one too. So at this point, it's 3-0. He's down 3 of his jacks. A lot of his stuff is feeded on, and he's in a lot of trouble. And what it really comes down to is that he looks at this for a little bit, tries to figure out how he can get something to my zone, and in the end, he just can't really do it. I mean, maybe he can go in and free up one of his trenchers, and one of the non-feeded trenchers can run into my zone to contest, but the comeback is just going to be too strong, and he just won't be able to get me in the end. So really, he just kind of looked at it a while, decided that, well, he could just basically go and clear his zone, and if it was a tournament, he would do that to score 1 point for tie breaks, but otherwise, that's the game. So there you go, guys, a win for Gorten, and man, you gotta watch that Haley3. She has a lot of tricks, and if you don't respect her for a second, she'll take you down. So luckily a win for Gorten. If you guys have any thoughts on the game or the list or anything like that, please post it down below, but otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye. Hey there, if you liked watching this video, please go down and give it a like down below you here. And if you have any concerns or questions or comments, please put those in the comment section as well. You know, the best way for me to give you what you want to see is if you tell me what you like seeing and what you don't like seeing. So otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.